You won't believe what's coming out of Pittsburgh today. The Steelers just dropped their final injury report for Week 6, and there are some huge updates every fan needs to hear. This could completely change the team's energy heading into Sunday's matchup, and maybe even the entire direction of their season. But before we dive into the latest news, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a Steelers update. Let's jump right into it. Big news, Steelers Nation. The final injury report for Week 6 is out, and it brings some much-needed good news. Alex Highsmith, Joey Porter Jr., and Jaylen Warren, all cleared to play. No injury designations at all. That means Pittsburgh will have 3 of its key weapons back and ready for action this weekend. And let's be honest, getting Highsmith back is massive. When he's on the field, the Steelers' defense looks different, faster, hungrier, and more dangerous. He's one of the most disruptive edge rushers in the league, and pairing him again with TJ what makes this defense absolutely terrifying for any opponent. Nick Herbig has been holding things down impressively while Highsmith was sidelined, and now that all 3, Highsmith and Herbig, are healthy, Pittsburgh's pass rush becomes a real nightmare. Imagine that rotation: fresh legs, relentless pressure, and zero breathing room for opposing quarterbacks. The truth is, it's rare we get to see all 3 healthy at the same time. But if they can stay that way, this defense could dominate like never before. Add the muscle from the interior line: Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, and DeMarvin Leal, and the Steelers' front looks ready to cause chaos in Week 6. Stay with me. There's a lot more to break down as we move closer to game day, and some updates might surprise you. The Steelers' defense is finally starting to look whole again, and that's dangerous news for the rest of the league. With the team getting healthy at just the right time, this unit is starting to resemble the tough, physical Steelers defense fans have been waiting to see all year. Joey Porter Jr.'s return is especially massive. He's that rare corner who can line up one-on-one against anyone in the league and win. His length, strength, and press coverage ability allow Pittsburgh to trust him on an island, freeing up the rest of the defense to play more aggressively. When Joey's on the field, the Steelers can switch up coverages, press harder at the line, and completely change how opposing quarterbacks read the field. His presence brings back that swagger this defense was missing. And on the other side of the ball, Jaylen Warren's return might be just as important. Every time he touches the ball, something electric happens. He makes defenders miss like it's second nature. Fast cuts, explosive acceleration, and the kind of balance that keeps drives alive. Honestly, he's been one of the most consistent weapons on this offense. The Steelers' coaching staff finally seems ready to give Warren the workload he deserves, and if they do, this run game could surprise a lot of people. Behind those jumbo formations with Darnell Washington and Spencer Anderson, Warren's burst could turn short gains into highlight plays. And what better test than the Cleveland Browns' top-ranked run defense? This matchup is going to tell us everything we need to know about where the Steelers' offense really stands. So don't be shocked if Jaylen Warren ends up being the difference-maker this Sunday. Stay with me, because the next part of this story might just shake up what fans expect from this team moving forward. Big news out of Pittsburgh. Things just got a lot more interesting for this Sunday's game. After weeks of uncertainty, Jalen Ramsey's situation finally seems to be turning in the right direction. The veteran corner was not just present at practice, he was fully participating. Individual drills, team reps, the whole thing. That's a major step forward, and it signals that he could be ready to return to action this weekend. If Ramsey suits up, that's a huge boost for the Steelers' defense. His toughness and football IQ completely elevate this secondary. But even if he's not ready, Pittsburgh isn't short on options. They've got depth. Brandon Nichols can slide into the slot, or Deshaun Elliott can step into that hybrid nickel role with Jabril Peppers locking down the strong safety position. It's flexibility like this that makes the Steelers' defense one of the hardest to game plan against. Ramsey told reporters, "We'll see," when asked about playing Sunday, but from what we've seen in practice, the chances look pretty solid. Either way, this team feels confident. With or without him, the defense is prepared to handle business. Now, on the offensive side, there's a small setback. Calvin Austin III has officially been ruled out for this week. He's still recovering from that shoulder injury, and the Steelers don't want to rush him back. Realistically, the goal is to get him fully healthy for that upcoming stretch against Green Bay, Indianapolis, and Los Angeles. 3 games that will test how real this Steelers team truly is. With Austin sidelined, though, a big question remains. Who steps up as the number 2 receiver? According to reports, Scotty Miller is expected to fill that spot this week, sliding in beside DK Metcalf. He's fast, dependable, and already has some rhythm built with Rodgers. Miller showed flashes during preseason that he can handle more responsibility when needed. Still, fans can't help but wonder, what about Roman Wilson? Drafted in the third round, he's got talent and upside that shouldn't be ignored. The coaches might be easing him in slowly, but this could be his time to make a statement. So, between Ramsey's possible return, Austin's absence, and a shakeup in the receiver rotation, the Steelers' lineup for Sunday is shaping up to be full of surprises. Stay with me, because the next updates might completely change how this game unfolds. The Steelers' wide receiver situation just took an interesting turn, and it's raising a few eyebrows in Pittsburgh. Roman Wilson came into this season with big expectations. After being drafted in the third round, the hope was that he'd quickly become a reliable playmaker, at least the team's WR3. But now, with Calvin Austin 3 out, it looks like Scotty Miller might leap ahead of him on the depth chart. And that's a little surprising. On paper, Miller does make sense. He's quick, sharp in his routes, and his style fits the Calvin Austin role pretty closely. Both are undersized speedsters who can stretch the field and open up space underneath. The difference is, Miller has more NFL experience, and that might be what's earning him the trust of the coaching staff right now. Still, it's hard not to feel that this was a chance Roman Wilson needed. As a young player, these are the moments where you prove yourself, where the coaches decide if you're part of the team's long-term plans. And it seems like, at least for this week, Miller's getting the nod. That said, Scotty Miller could quietly have a very solid game against the Browns. The Steelers are expected to use a lot of jumbo personnel, heavy sets with multiple tight ends, which could create chances for play action and deep crossers. Those are the kinds of routes where Miller's speed can really shine. Don't be shocked if he breaks free for a big gain or two on Sunday. As for special teams, Miller's also set to take over punt return duties with Austin sidelined. The team brought in Raheem Blackshear to the practice squad as insurance, but all signs point to Scotty handling both wide receiver and returner responsibilities this week. Now, turning briefly to the Browns, they're coming in almost fully healthy. The only player officially ruled out is defensive tackle Michael Hall, a rotational piece on their line. No other major injuries have been reported, which means both teams will be close to full strength when they face off. So with the Browns healthy, the Steelers reshuffling their receivers, and both defenses gearing up for a physical showdown, this matchup is shaping up to be a real test of depth, discipline, and grit. Stay with me, because the next update digs into how these matchups could completely swing Sunday's game. The stage is set for a heavyweight AFC North clash, and both sides are bringing their best. Cleveland is coming into this matchup almost completely healthy. Myles Garrett, the heartbeat of their defense, is good to go. Every key name that appeared on their injury report this week has been cleared. So if the Steelers pull off a win on Sunday, it won't come with any excuses. They'll be beating the strongest version of the Browns possible. And that would send a loud message to the rest of the division. Pittsburgh isn't just surviving, they're taking over. The Browns also made an interesting announcement. Head coach Kevin Stefanski confirmed that rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders will serve as the backup behind Dillon Gabriel. That means if anything happens to Gabriel, Sanders would make his NFL debut against none other than the team he was heavily connected to before the draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Talk about drama. Now, whether it's Gabriel or Sanders taking the snaps, both face a brutal challenge. Mike Tomlin's defenses have a long history of making life miserable for young quarterbacks, confusing them, hitting them, and forcing mistakes. If Cleveland wants any success, it'll have to come from the ground game. Keep an eye on Quinshon Judkins, their rising star at running back. A few talented runners like Kenneth Walker and Breece Hall have found success against the Steelers' front earlier this season, crossing the 100-yard mark. But if Pittsburgh's defense tightens up and shuts down the run early, Cleveland could be in serious trouble. And just when things couldn't get more interesting in the AFC North, over in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson has officially been ruled out for the Ravens' matchup against the Los Angeles Rams. Without Lamar, that offense loses its spark. And facing a Rams team led by Matthew Stafford, that's a dangerous situation. If the Ravens fall again, dropping to 1-5, their playoff hopes start slipping away fast. 10 wins are usually the magic number in the AFC, and getting there from that deep a hole, nearly impossible. So here's the bottom line. The Steelers have a golden opportunity this weekend, a chance to not only beat a full-strength Cleveland team, but also widen the gap in the AFC North while their biggest rivals crumble. Stay with me, because what comes next could completely reshape the division race. The AFC playoff picture is starting to take shape, and it's tighter than ever. This year, there's no easy path to January football. Across every division, teams are fighting hard, and the bar for making the playoffs keeps rising. In the East, Buffalo looks strong, and even New England is showing flashes of life. Down south, both the Colts and Jaguars are sitting at 4-1, proving they're legitimate contenders. Out west, you've got the usual powerhouses, the Chiefs, the Chargers, and even the Broncos, all capable of making a push. So let's be honest, to earn a wild card spot in the AFC this year, 10 wins might be the bare minimum. That's what makes the Ravens' current situation so concerning. If Baltimore drops to 1-5, the mountain in front of them becomes almost impossible to climb. To even stay alive in the race, they'd need a near-perfect run after their bye, winning every winnable game and probably sweeping the Steelers just to have a shot. And history tells us that's not easy. Pittsburgh almost always finds a way to take at least one from Baltimore, no matter the circumstances. But here's where things get exciting for Steelers Nation. Because if this team simply takes care of business, handles the games they're supposed to win, and snags a couple of victories against the heavyweights, teams like Green Bay, Indianapolis, Los Angeles, Buffalo, or even Detroit, they'll be sitting in an incredible position.